Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Meg Smith.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Today, I'm here with Neicy Wagner Geis of Tigerlily Goods. How are you, Neicy?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So tell our listeners all about Tigerlily Goods.
So Tigerlily Goods is a plant shop in North Denver. I'm almost at 5.5 years now. We specialize in easy to care for houseplants, plant care, featuring local artists, and just love being a part of the community there.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I love all the types of goods that you're selling.
There's a lot. It's packed to the gills in there.
I love it. So how did you get into this type of retail?
Well, I was working in a local flower shop when I noticed how much waste there is in the floral industry. And while I love flowers, it was just really hard to watch how much actually is discarded and doesn't even make it into the shop before it's even discarded. My husband always bought me arrangements every year, for special occasions and stuff. And I'm very grateful for those. I'd be like, I wish you could give me something I could grow, something I could keep forever rather than just discarding in a couple of days. And then once I worked in the floral shop, I saw just exactly how much went into that and how much he was spending on that. And then it only lasts, 4 days to a week or something. And then you have this vessel that you donate to Goodwill in a couple months, So I thought, well, there's got to be a better way, a greener way to gift. So that kind of ended up being my tagline. And I began selling succulent planters and potted plants. And I started off with a booth at Sunnyside Music Fest just to kind of see, gauge the interest. And it just really took off from there. So it's been nonstop.
Yay. Well, that's fantastic. And I love the concept. It's definitely, something we're not really aware of until you get deeper into that, production process. And so that's really good information for everybody.
Great.
Yeah. And so why do you think folks like your store? I mean, obviously you probably come in there and it's probably just lovely. And,
I mean, it is really lush. It's packed with so much greenery and everyone walks in and says how great it smells. And you can feel the effects of plants as soon as you walk in, and it really makes you realize, wow, my house could look like this and so much oxygen in the air. And, it just smells amazing. And also for people who have other businesses, they notice that too, that, oh, this would be a nice way to greet my customers when they come in. And I feel like plants send a very healthy message that if you can care for plants, then you will also care for your customers. So that's kind of a different segue, but I think that I think my customers like my store because I highly value customer service. I feel it's very important, and I wouldn't be there without my customers. So that was something that was really important to my grandfather, and he had a guy for everything, just every little thing you can think of. He's like, oh no, I wouldn't take that there because I have a guy that fixes my screen door, or, and I kind of always wanted to be that person for the community. And I wasn't sure what it was going to be. But I always say, let me be your plant lady, because just knowing that you have a place that you can trust, that you can take your beloved plants to when they're looking sickly or, I think that goes a really long way. And I tell people, I sell my plants at Lever's Locavore also, which is a grocery store a few blocks away. And I have a little sign there that says, text me a picture of your ailing plant, whether you bought it from me or not. I want to help you succeed as a plant parent. So I just think little things like that go a long way in showing my customers that I'm there for them. And I get a really good response because of it, I think.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You're building relationships, you're being a resource, you're, connecting people with something uplifting that can really elevate their space and mood and just general consciousness. So that's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah. So tell us,
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some hardships in recent years.
Yes, maybe a few.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, how you came through those and how that really probably strengthened the business.
Right. Well, I opened in November of 2019, or I'm sorry, 2018. And so then COVID happened very shortly after that. And of course, that impacted everything in the world. But small businesses really took a hit. And I had to quickly pivot to delivery. So I had a very, very small store at the time. Like I've now moved next door, which is about 3 times the size, but I was in a very small space back then. And so I actually shut down about 2.5 weeks before the mandate, just because it felt so socially irresponsible to have that many people in a small space, and people were just clamoring in there to get, surround themselves with plants. Plants really took off during the pandemic. So that was a big thing. And I just thought, I'm not being responsible by allowing this many people in my store. So I actually shut the doors and started offering literal window shopping, where people would come to the window and they could choose a pot, choose a plant. They could watch me pot it right there for them, stick their credit card through the mail slot, and then I would leave their plant outside. So that became a really fun way to kind of, deal with this thing that we never experienced before as a collective. And so that became a really fun way. And then I also did delivery, where I would just, you could choose your plant and I would bring it to you. So I would go straight, rather than going from the greenhouse to my shop, I would go to the greenhouse, fill my truck with plants, and just drive around the city delivering them to people. And so there was a lot of really cute stories on Instagram and stuff going around back then, with like a cat watching out the window, like, where's our plant lady? And they're waiting for me to pull up and then open the back, and it's full of plants and everything. And so people really had fun with it. And that was a good way to pivot a situation that could have been really dire, and was dire for many small businesses. So,
well, and it continued to allow you to kind of shine your light, and lift people up during that time. And I love that you pivoted in that way and were able to do that, because it was such a difficult time. And just that experience, like either picking out the plant through the window or ordering it and waiting for it to be delivered, like all of that would have been just a fun thing, to take people's minds off what was happening. So I appreciate you.
And I feel like all those little things that that businesses did to make it a little more fun, like offering like breakfast burritos through a window that you would walk up to or something, and, just little things that made it kind of an adventure is what helped us get through something that was kind of a scary time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was very creative, and hopefully a lot of folks got to enjoy your service and window burritos and all of the things.
Right.
So do you have any like seasonal things that are going on right now? Any events coming up that you'd like to share with the listeners?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of pop-up markets and vendors markets. My next one coming up is on Saturday, May the 4th, from 12 to 4. And I love hosting those. It's a way to, I'm an artist, lifelong artist, and it's a way to showcase all of the local makers in the community and kind of give them a place to do it without having to pay an outrageous booth fee or something, to be kind of in the bigger markets. And it turns out to be a really fun event, and we get a ton of people out for it. So I kind of like to offer that to folks who haven't been out there before and they don't really know how to get their product out to the people. And, like, it's not as scary as they might think. So I offer them a place and kind of guide them through it so that they can apply at those bigger markets later and have a little confidence in doing so.
I love that. And I love the date. May the 4th be with you.
Right. There may or may not be some Star Wars themes there.
Fantastic. So how do you get involved in the community? I know you're probably doing a lot more than just supporting the local arts scene, but tell us about anything else you're doing.
Oh, I mean, well, that's really a big part of it. I feel like I'm always out there. And today, for example, I'm supporting a local realtor, Brandon Beston, of Beston Homes. And we're doing a little happy hour in our space. And he hosts monthly happy hours for all of his clients, and kind of a meet and greet and a networking thing where he invites other small business owners, and he tries to showcase other small businesses throughout that, and always offer it somewhere where they can where they will be introduced to a new small business. So we're doing that this afternoon, and it should be really fun. And it's a nice way to pack the store full of people, and everyone's mingling and kind of having some drinks and snacks and just getting to know each other. And we've formed a lot of good connections through these events in the past. And just, I have a friend who met her realtor there and her acupuncturist and, things like that. So I kind of try to find all of my friends who are entrepreneurs and get them all in one place so they can utilize each other's services.
I love that. Yeah, we host a lot of business networking events that travel to different venues. So we'll talk about that
great.
later.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. When you're not working, what are you doing for fun?
I like concerts. I'm really big into live music. So I try to go, really once a week, I try to go see something, and there's always something good out there. And I live pretty close to Red Rocks. I'm in Applewood now. So that's kind of nice that, I could just kind of pop over there, and it's the best venue in the world, if you ask me. So it's a great place to see live music, but also the small venues that are all around town. And there's so much creativity and so many brilliant artists in the city. So I just love to go support them and kind of see what everybody's doing. Keeps you young and fresh. And I love it.
Well, I live in Applewood too, so we're probably walking by each other.
I'm sure, yes.
Well, that's awesome. So how can folks learn more? So maybe state the address and the social page and the website, all of that.
Sure. So you can find me at tigerlilygoods.com, and the shop is at 3795 Grove Street in Denver, just one block west of 38th and Federal. And Instagram is usually the best way to kind of see all of the current events and everything that's going on there. So I'm on Instagram at Tigerlily Goods.
Awesome.
Well, thank you
so much. Yeah, I'm sure people will be checking it out, and I'm excited to come see the store soon, and we'll make some plans. So thanks for joining me, Neicy. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com, or call 720-295-9588.